If I was Kinefinity, this is what I would have done. First of all, you need to go to Grant Petty from Blackmagic and say as follow: Father, as your name is Grant, I'm here for you to grant me the permission to allow my people to cross over to the Blackmagic Roland. Have the flexibility to change everything in post. Grant us the will to experience Generation 4 and Generation 5 color science. We hope you will acknowledge our request without being petty like Red. Hey, what's up guys? Kashi Lembo here, bringing you guys some news and telling you what is happening in our industry this week. We're going to start with Arri discontinuing the Alexa Mini. We're also going to talk about Kinefinity dropping another camera after the MAVO Edge. Is this going to be a boxy design? Is this going to be small? Where have they even fixed their issue with Red? We are going to talk about that. Also talk about Apple. Listen, this is making headline because of the Mac Studio that everyone seems to be talking about, but hey, don't buy it yet. Let's discuss about it. We're also going to talk about Canon. After releasing the C70, they now came up and say, hey, we're going to give you guys RAW. So guys, let's talk about it. Arri have officially discontinued their Alexa Mini camera and the viewfinder, and we're hoping to see the new Arri Alexa Super 35, or I don't know what name they are going to give it, very soon. This camera was first introduced in 2015 as there was so many requests from DPs asking Arri to design a lighter, smaller and compact version of Arri camera with improved color science, resolution and everything else that people do love about Arri. And since 2015, this camera have been very reliable, and I've seen this camera appearing on some of the coolest projects that you can imagine, including narrative, music video, commercial, documentary, anything that you can think of. If you're an Arri Alexa owner or used to own an Arri Alexa, I'm sure that you've used this camera to the best of your ability and you've got your money worth. And I used to own one and I recently sold it, and you can check the video here and I can tell you that I got my money worth. I do believe since Arri have now retired the Alexa Mini, that means they are going to be ready to share with all of us some information about their Alexa Super 35 4K. And my guess is that it might happen at NAB Las Vegas or at the BSC Expo in London. And listen guys, if Arri decide to bring that camera at the BSC Expo, I'm going to do my best and give you guys a hands-on. Also get to talk about some cool feature that Arri will release in that camera. Pre-COVID, I did have a chat with Mark Schippenmuller, who is a product manager at Arri, and he gave me a quick hands-on on the Alexa Mini LF. We also spoke about the Arri Signature Prime. So Mark, if you're going to be at the BSC Expo this year, please, I might have to talk to you and ask you some question about some of the coolest technology that you guys will have this year, because I know it's been COVID and you guys had a lot of time in your hand to develop some amazing things. If you're an Arri fan and you're also curious about these camera specs, let me tell you what we do know so far. First thing is the camera is going to have the same MVF2 viewfinder like its bigger brother. It's also going to be compatible with the Codex compact drive that was introduced by Arri when they dropped the Arri Alexa Mini LF. If I was to say one thing to Arri, the only thing that I could say to you guys is please consider giving this camera a high frame rate option, because I feel like you guys offer every other thing, but when it comes to high frame rate, you don't really push that much. Something that I still think about most of the time is that I actually have not seen any Arri camera that does some crazy slow motion, let's say 200 frames per second, and there's so many other amazing camera out there in the industry, including Red and Blackmagic and so many other companies offering some super slow motion. Also, this is my opinion, by the way, I feel like Arri should consider, right, giving the Alexa Mini LF the ability to at least give a 200 frames per second in crop mode, because the camera can actually do that only if Arri wanted that, and that would be very beneficial for people that shoot TV shows. And I was actually working on a project, they shot everything in Arri 24 frames per second, and when it came to like slow motion, they actually had to change the camera for that. So Arri, if you do that, I'm sure some people would be happy. Another thing that I know is going to make some of you guys happy is that when Arri released this new camera, there are going to be a lot of used Arri Alexa Mini on the market, which means if you dreamed about having an Arri Alexa, you can actually grab one and it will be very, very affordable. We're looking forward to seeing this camera from Arri, and that's it from them. Let's see what Apple has been up to. With the release of the brand new Mac Studio, the computer that has some crazy spec, it's got every YouTuber hyped and they're all talking about it right now. I really like Apple, and that is because Apple trying to find a way to get money out of your pocket without you knowing. They have dropped 2 Mac Studios, and the one that seemed to be getting a lot of attention is the one with the M1 Ultra, which is basically 4-in-1. I don't know if you remember, but it's not even been over 2 years yet since Apple released their cheese grater Mac, which managed to hit the headline as the fastest and also the most expensive piece of machine I have seen in a very long time. And something that I've noticed after watching a lot of YouTubers talking about their unboxing is that when they did buy the previous generation, aka the cheese grater, they genuinely believe that they have found a long life editing machine that will always perform better than anything that is out there. So what they thought. And Apple being Apple, they had to come up with something lighter, smaller, and even affordable. And what makes it even worse, they compare the new Mac Studio to the cheese grater and bragged how fast this Mac is and how cheap it is comparing to the previous generation. I know how you feel. Which have left so many creators scratching their heads because they have purchased the old Mac Studio. And listen, I've seen some YouTuber talking about how much they spent 30k on listen, gear acquisition syndrome, you guys need to stop it, okay? I've seen so many people unboxing my £30,000 cheese grater, and listen, the new one has better I/O. It's also very portable, and you guys spend how much? Apple. I know most of you guys cannot admit it, but you guys are feeling some type of pain because I understand the gear acquisition syndrome, and you basically buy something and by the time you blink twice, the new gear is out, and it's even affordable and it's even better than the previous one. So again guys, if you got the Mac or if you feel like you want to get the Mac, I would advise you to have to think twice, because why? I still have my 2017 iMac with 5K display, and if you've not seen my YouTube setup, click here and see that video. But let me tell you one thing that I do like about the new Mac Studio is the front SD card slot, because I'm tired. Tell me if you can relate, right? Do you know when you finish shooting and you come and you start all of a sudden, you know, gonna check at the back of your iMac to find the SD card port? So Apple bringing that in front, that is actually cool. You just get your SD, put it in, and you are ready to go. So if you got your hand on this Mac, congratulations and comment below and tell us how is the experience so far, because we want to know from you. Apart from the Mac Studio, another product release was the Apple display, and I don't know if you've noticed, but Apple have pulled a fast one on all of you guys by redesigning the LG Ultrafine 5K in a new housing, and they kept the same I/O, but they bumped the brightness up. And Apple say, hey, let's give people an A13 Bionic just to make them feel like, listen, this is the Apple that they're buying, and you have to pay the premium price of $1,600 instead of paying $500 for the LG Ultrafine 5K. And you know what's crazy about this monitor? If you want the ability to move it up and down, you must pay another $400, which is crazy. Another thing that I've noticed about this display is that the power cable is hardwired, meaning you cannot remove it. And I'm like, Apple, are you guys moving into the future, or are you guys going backward? Because the last time that I saw this type of technology or this type of cable was in 2001. That's it with Apple. Let's see what Kinefinity is up to. With the successful and unsuccessful release of the MAVO Edge, Kinefinity have re-entered the game again, and this time I'm not sure what they are coming up with, but something that I need to say, Kinefinity, if you say you're going to offer this, make sure you do that, and make sure you do as promised, because if we look back at the release of the MAVO Edge, you guys promised some crazy and great codec, and then you ended up breaking up with your ex-partner, which is Red, and everyone took their shit and you left consumer hanging around. So guys, make sure that this time you seal all the little mistake and come back with something better and stronger. If Kinefinity have not managed to sort their codec issue, I do believe that one of the biggest mistakes they are doing right now is to release another camera before sorting out the issue that they do have with Red. And if I was Kinefinity, this is what I would have done. First of all, you need to go to Grant Petty from Blackmagic and say as follow: Father, as your name is Grant, I'm here for you to grant me the permission to allow my people to cross over to the Blackmagic Roland. Have the flexibility to change everything in post. Grant us the will to experience Generation 4 and Generation 5 color science. We're not only here to take from you, we're here to also bring something so meaningful to you, the full frame technology that will benefit you and the million of your nation. You say ask and you shall receive. We hope you will acknowledge our request and grant us without being petty like Red. You say ask and you shall receive. But honestly, it's been over 2 hours. I'm trying to film only this small section, okay? Our last topic is Canon C70 now have the RAW option, which is a cool thing, and no one was expecting this from Canon. And I guess they are doing this because they want people to come back on that camera and make it more lovable or make it more relevant, because so many people have kind of complained and compared this camera to the Blackmagic Pocket 6K and 6K Pro, and the price was something that most people never liked. And I think bringing RAW to that camera kind of make people thinking about it even more. And my question is, Canon, if you actually dropped RAW by the time this camera was released, that was going to be the unique selling point about this camera, and people would even say at least it does shoot RAW. Also, this get to show you that so many manufacturers, they release camera that have the raw capability or the possibility to shoot raw, but they just take that away from you. So one cool thing that this camera offer is two type of raw flavor. It's raw SD and raw LT, which is great for anyone that wanted to shoot raw. Guys, I do have a question for you. Do you remember when every YouTuber used to brag about the Canon C200? If you check where that camera is right now, nobody even talks about it, and I feel like that's what Canon started to realize, that the C70 is dying very fast. And now, since they've introduced RAW, they're hoping to raise more awareness, or maybe people considering that camera. So guys, that is all with what is happening in our industry this week. If you like this type of series, comment below what topic you want covered, or if you have some news, please make sure you reach out to me. My name is Kashilembo, and if you're new on this channel, this is all about filmmaking, gear review, DaVinci Resolve tutorial, and basically helping you to improve your visual storytelling. And if that is something that you're into, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell icon so you don't miss when I post a video like this. Also, if you like this type of content, go on my channel, browse, and watch some more. We're not only here you say ask and you shall receive. Honestly, it's been over 2 hours. I'm trying to film only this small section, okay? And have the flexibility to change everything in post. I hope you acknowledge us and grant us the will without being petty like Red. Full sensor camera technology. Oh my god, I keep laughing. God. Guys, you guys better like this video.